welcome, welcome, welcome. You're in the right place at the right time. It must be Tuesday at 5 o'clock, and we're here, and you're here, and we ready to get it on. I tell you, boy, I'm in Studio A, and my lovely assistant is in Studio B over there. Hello, Miss Fiona. How you doing?
Uh, I'm all right, Dr. Ron. How are you today?
I'm still glad to be alive. That's my testimony, and I'm sticking to it. I explained to everybody last week when my microphone wasn't working right that it's my testimony because it's so many people getting up out of here that I am still glad to be in the land of the living, and I'm gonna continue acting like I'm alive and doing what it takes to act that way. Okay, because I'm gonna do what I gotta do. Yep. So
I know that's right.
so Miss Fiona's a little under the weather today, y'all. So y'all be nice. No, she
Yeah,
don't
thank you.
she don't have the Rona. I already did a test before the show started. I stuck that thing in the back of her neck and pulled it out, and it said passed. Okay, so she did not pass. The little children at the daycare did not get her. Okay,
No, I didn't.
okay, all right. So she was out doing something like most people do in Chicago when the sun is shining and it gets up to 70 degrees. She was out enjoying the weather, and now she's paying for it.
Right, basically.
Well, you're not alone. There's probably like a half a million other folks that did the same thing. 70
Yeah.
degrees in Chicago in March is a holiday. So people out here really, turning up, as the kids would say,
hmm
when when the weather gets nice and the sun was shining. So it
It
was,
was beautiful.
yeah, 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 yeah,
hmm
yeah. Now,
But it'll be all right.
yeah, now you got to spend the night with a bottle of NyQuil, so you'll be
Hey,
all right.
the whole bottle if I can.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Well, look, I got a special treat for everybody and a surprise. I have my brother in broadcasting coming back to be with us again this week. We had so many technical glitches on last week, and it's my fault. I feel like Obama. I got to take the hit. It happened on my watch. I'm the only one got control of the controls, so it was a whole lot of stuff going on that I'll take the hit on. But this week, we going to get it and get it right.
All
So
right.
I'm not going to delay that much longer. I'm going to get right into it so we can get my brother on the air with us. So the first thing I want to do is give a shout out to all of the healthcare heroes that are on the front line taking care of all of our loved ones. I tell you, there are people that are working night and day diligently keeping our family and friends alive. So I like to give them an applause and a shout out each and every time that I go live, to the point where I am still wearing my doctor's shirt in solidarity to all of the healthcare heroes on the front line. And I'm going to continue to wear this until we get an all clear. Now, once we get an all clear, I'm going to do a wardrobe change. I promise you, I'm going to put on something different and be proud of it. Okay? So, y'all going to see this until they say we got an all clear. Also, I want to give a shout out to all of the pastors that are on the front line. They're responsible for keeping us spiritually encouraged, spiritually motivated. And I like to give them a shout out each and every time that I go live because their job is hard as well. They're working for, keeping us informed on what we should believe and what God is saying at a time like this. So you need people that are on the front line that can do this. And if you don't know of anybody that can give you the real deal, I encourage you to go listen to Dr. Hunt, Dr. Lloyd Michael Hunt, who is my mentor and spiritual leader. And I tell you, boy, he's been keeping it real every day of this pandemic, plus some. I've been with him for almost 30 years now. And I tell you, out of those 30 years, he has never led me astray yet. And I use the word yet because there's always a possibility that it might happen. But not yet. you know. So And if you're not familiar with Dr. Hunt, I encourage you to scroll down on my feed. You'll find some of his messages. Also, encourage you to go over to ask-dr-ron.com. And when you get there, look at the top of the page. You'll see a link for my YouTube channel. Click on that link. You'll find a playlist totally devoted to Dr. Hunt. And like, of course, and subscribe so that you can see every time I post a new one. Those are all archive messages, and you'll find out that the word don't spoil is still good. While you're also over there on my site, please scroll through, check out all the pages that I have, check out, all of the videos that we have posted there. There's replays of every show. You can also fill out a contact card. And most importantly, we need you to support our vendors. Our vendors is who are what make this happen, what make it possible. There are many vendors on there like Port Again Sam, RRJ Webb. These are all minority vendors, and they're good at what they do. Please support them. We need you to support them so they'll continue to support us. As a matter of fact, Miss Fiona has brought in some vendors that she's going to tell us about now.
Our first vendor is Kidtropolis. Kidtropolis is a child care center on the south side of Chicago, 8104 South Halsted Street, which is now enrolling children from 6 weeks to 6 years old. So if anybody knows any children that need child care, especially while parents are going back to work, come check them out. And you can also go on their website, which is on Ask Dr. Ron, and you can click on their logo, and then it will connect you to the website. We also have a vendor, which is Obviously Young and Brilliant, which will be on the show next month. And his brand is, I'll let him tell about his brand, but you can also find more information about that brand and the author. He is also a children's author. And you can also find those two on AskDrRon.com.
Exactly. So if you're interested in being a vendor or advertising with us, please, please, please reach out to Fiona or myself, and we would love to be able to talk to you, bring you on the show. Also, I want you to check out David Emile. Now, David Emile was on the show earlier this month, and his flyer is also on there. Click on it. Go over and listen to a song. Boy, he was so powerful with his testimony. He had Miss Fiona crying, y'all. Miss Fiona was in there wiping tears. I said, "What? He broke water?
It was.
What the hell?" I was like,
"Hey, that's what truth does."
Yes, he's got a powerful testimony and story. You can go look for that show also on the website and on my YouTube channel. But this brother has got a dynamic gospel song. And if you haven't heard it yet, please go over there and check it out. That's Mr. David Emile. Brother is bad. I'm telling you, boy. So he's also listed on the website. And then check out our affiliates. We have other affiliates that we're associated with, other media outlets that we work with. And that is the name of that story. So please reach out to us. And if you are interested in being an advertiser. Well, it's that time now where we get to bring on our guest. And I am so excited to bring in a brother that works close with us on Thursday's show, which we'll get a chance to talk about later on when we get to that section of the show. But he is also a media personality of his own podcast, host. I've had the opportunity to be on his show, and he's now back with us today. I have had the opportunity to realize that he is just as witty and deranged as I am. We discovered that we were both raised in the forest somewhere, and somebody's left us there in a basket, and we survived, and now we have found each other again. Of course, I'm a little bit older than he is, but the results are still the same. He is still wild and crazy guy. My brother, Mr. Francisco, aka Chocolate Yoddah. Welcome to the show, sir.
Hello.
Uh oh, what'd you do? You did something. Say something.
Hello. Hello.
No, you did something. You must have changed something, unfortunately, because your audio is back to acting up again. There you go. Now he got to put his glasses on. Oh, sookie now. We got a glass reunion going on this day. You know?
Oh, they look nice.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
We sure can.
That's very strange. Okay, so apparently Skype just doesn't like my settings. It changed them spontaneously.
Well, didn't you say, weren't you on mute for a second?
No, I was totally unmuted. I changed it to my mic when I first got on with you while we were talking, and then Skype changed it.
Okay. It's all a learning
Because all I did
experience.
was change back to my mic again.
It's all a learning experience, because you know what? I like the idea that we caught it early this time.
That's right.
We caught it early this time. Well, hey, hold on before we go any further. We don't want to lose any of this. So, welcome to the show, my brother.
Thank you.
Yeah. I know I mentioned a little while ago that you have what you always reference as a podcast. And for those that don't know what a podcast is, could you please explain it to them?
Sure. Well, the professor, Reggie Miles, taught me that the word pod in podcast just means playable on demand. And so it's just different from live. Most of what you see on television is recorded, then edited. And so Ron is brave enough to fly without a net. I am not yet. So I record, I edit, and then I present.
Yes. And the professor did break that down for us one night. He just kind of like, yeah, okay, that's what that is.
Yeah. And honestly, I had no idea before the professor. I just thought podcast was a word. I had no idea pod was an acronym.
Yes.
So
yes.
it's like
Playable
it's nice
on
hanging
demand.
around with PhDs.
Yeah. Well, like you pointed out before, we got a cast of well-experienced people on that show. And so, and I know, I don't even want to get into that segment. That's cheating, because I got a whole new scene for that. I want to talk about
All right.
what you got going on
Sure.
on the persistent rumor. Tell us all about
The
that.
persistent rumor. Look at that.
Look at that. On demand. He's got
That's a nice
he just,
logo.
he
the
just
persistent
rises up in his
It's a
elevator
podcast.
chair and comes
I
right back
can't hear
down.
you. Suddenly, I can't hear you again.
See, there you go, doing stuff and messing up stuff. Hello, can you hear me now?
Hold on. Let me make sure that's not me.
No, I can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you.
Nope. Still can't hear you. Hold on.
Okay, what about now? Can you hear?
Nope. Your mic went away.
My mic went away. Well, we can hear you fine. We can hear you very good.
No, I'm on. I
Yeah.
I can't hear you at all. I put you on my regular stereo speakers, but now I can't hear you at all.
Okay.
Oh, now you're back.
Now we're
suddenly.
back. Okay. Well, don't move.
This is weird.
Don't
No,
move.
yeah.
Stay
Stay
still. There you go. Because we can still hear you, but we had lost you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. We got you
So
now. Yes.
what is the persistent rumor? It is a podcast created by me and co-hosted with my best friend. His nickname is Chancleta. My nickname is Chocolate Yoddah. And basically, my inspiration was watching podcasts, listening to some, but watching most. And I just started thinking, wow, my friend and I have conversations like this all the time. Why don't I just create a podcast where and we crack each other up. We're very entertaining when we're at a party or something together. People love having us there because we're just a lot of fun, but we're also insightful and philosophical and spiritual, and we address things in society. We address the male-female dynamic, cancel culture, all that kind of stuff, and it seems to be something that resonates with people, and we have a lot of fun doing it. That's the main thing.
Well, I know for sure you have a international audience with some of the things you do.
Yeah.
I've had the pleasure of being on one of your recordings, which I think I earned the nickname Chaos of some kind of chaos.
Hold on.
Yeah. So, we
You
lost
said
again.
some kind of.
Yeah.
These.
Yeah.
Hold on.
All right, we're gonna hold on. We're holding on.
Please stand by. We're experiencing technical difficulties.
So, in the meantime.
Okay, still can't hear you.
Okay.
I don't know if it's on my end.
Yeah, because we can hear you fine.
My speakers are good. Let's see what Skype has to say.
Okay, there we go.
Maybe Skype changed something.
Yep,
Speakers.
can you hear us now?
Okay, hold on.
What about now?
Now we're good.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll just keep our fingers crossed that it's this way.
Okay, there you go. All right. No, what I was saying, you have an international audience, and on one of your recordings that we did, I think I earned the nickname something of chaos or something.
Yes, that is a nickname that I created for you. You are the agent of chaos. And I wouldn't have it any other way. That's why you were there.
Would have done to earn such a title. I have no idea.
If I had to guess, everything.
Like what?
Like everything he ever says all the time.
I'm gonna have to watch that.
Yeah. And they can find that show on YouTube, by the way, because that show is listed on YouTube. I stayed up 2 nights in a row listening to it. Yeah. And I'm like, man, did I say that?
If you just go to youtube.com/The Persistent Rumor, you'll find it.
Yes. Oh my God. I did not realize that some of the things that I was kind of punch drunk and was late at night. I was, I don't know. I ain't even got enough excuses,
You're just being yourself.
Yeah.
Hey, can I, Fiona? Can I just share something with you? And I'm sorry, Ron. I have to out you right now for the thing you just said. He said it was late at night. We were recording at 6:00 Chicago time. Okay, so come on.
It's always on.
Yeah.
It's always on. 2:00 in the afternoon.
Okay. Well, I was going by the time in Australia. It was early in the morning, like I had been up all night,
Yeah.
But
did you enjoy yourself?
It was a great show.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. Yeah. We talked about important issues because I don't think that there is anything mutually exclusive about talking about very, very serious things and having fun while you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, it was fun. And the ladies were so obliging. The Australian ladies, of course.
Yes.
One American lady was obliging too.
Yes.
What? I don't know where that goes.
Yeah.
Well, red beans and rice.
Ron, right now, Ron is just trying to make me laugh because he's telling me stuff that only I know.
And you're laughing. I see.
Yeah. Well, she knows red beans and rice because red beans and rice was harassing Chris the week before last. Okay, so she was harassing Chris outrageously on the chat room. Okay. So, and I was like, I'm glad I'm still do like Chris was saying. I'm glad it's you and not me. So Fiona had never experienced red beans and rice before, so she was new to the experience. So,
Mm.
it was still an experience. I'll just say it like that. She like, what's up with that? And that's what everybody trying to figure out. What's up with that? Because she picks on Francisco equally as cruel.
Mm.
Yeah,
It doesn't bother me though.
yeah,
Have at it.
yeah,
I got a thick skin, man. People can say anything to me.
yeah.
You know.
Uh
Well,
oh.
that's one of my questions. Can I ask
Go
now while
ahead, go
you're
ahead,
talking
go
Absolutely.
about
ahead.
that?
Fire
He
away.
opened himself up, so now you can go ahead on and have at him. You know.
Absolutely. So, in understanding that, whether she is trying to do harm or whatever narrative is being created, um, how is that one of the challenges that you are looking forward to during your process of broadcasting or pods, doing a pod?
I honestly give it no thought. People, first of all, context is very important to me. I have no doubt that Red Beans, her real name is Laura. I have no doubt that Laura was just engaged in the topic and passionate about what she was saying. It had nothing to do with me. She wasn't coming at me. And even if she was coming at my ideas, not me as a person. So I can separate all those things out in real time. And even if someone decides to attempt to be hurtful, that doesn't mean that I have to be hurt,
Hmm.
and I just, nothing that anyone says to me ever bothers me. The only people that can actually hurt me are the people that I love. And I wouldn't even be hurt by what they said. I would be hurt by the fact that they were attempting to hurt me. Like, I don't care what people say. Like, I know who I am. I'm very comfortable with who I am. I'm a good person. I'm a loving and caring person. You could point out idiosyncrasies about me or quirks or things that you think are weird about me or whatever. But if you're trying to help me, I don't mind. And if you're trying to help, if you're trying to hurt me, I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought even last week, I know we had to record it, but I thought you had a good attitude towards just in general, which I thought
Oh,
was
thank
good.
you.
Which also brings me to the point of your vision that you have for media. Um, what is your personality? What would you say now is your personality as a broadcaster?
My personality as a broadcaster and my personality are one and the same.
Okay.
There's no difference between us except the nickname, which I came up with because actually someone gave me that nickname in 2010, and it stuck. And I just thought that for broadcast purposes, it sounded catchy, so I went with Chocolate Yoddah. But we're the same person, and so much so that the way I'm going to do the podcast is that there's going to be an uncensored version on Patreon, patreon.com/the persistent rumor. And then everything else is going to be censored only because other formats like Pandora and all of the different syndicated streams that you can listen to podcasts on, they have varying rules. Even YouTube has varying rules about cursing and adult subject matter. So that will be the only difference publicly that people can discern from what I produce, which is there's just going to be the uncensored version and the censored version, but the content and meaning and intent is all going to be the same.
Okay. And do you think that there's a difference between, or I'm sure you're not that much older than I am, but um, what is the difference between broadcasting now, do you think, now versus when you were a little bit younger?
Okay, well, obviously I can't answer this question based on experience, but I can answer it based on observation.
Yep.
And the main thing is that there are no gatekeepers anymore. Literally anyone with a phone can be a broadcaster, right? I chose to go a little bit more high end. I have cameras, I have lights, I have professional microphones, mixers, all these things that just polish the broadcast. But literally, look at the people that have become quote unquote influencers, which I think is a dumb word, but people that are considered influencers, whether it's on YouTube or on Instagram or Twitter. Some of these people are just broadcasting from their bedroom and on a phone. because there's no studio that they have to go to. There are no gatekeepers. There's no barrier to entry, and that's a huge difference than what broadcasting was heretofore.
Yeah, very true.
Sure.
Yeah.
You would agree, Dr. Ron?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think 10 years ago when I first got into internet radio, that it was a frontier that was not wide open as of yet. And we started out at a small radio station, and they were doing music at one station, and I was doing talk on another. And it's a brand new frontier, So we paved the way for 3 years to validate internet radio. We paved the way, and then many people came behind us and were able to piggyback off of it. And now it's a marketplace that is here. It's not going anywhere. Many people are using the Facebook format as their platform to broadcast on, and as well as YouTube and Twitter and all the other channels that are out there. But the pandemic has caused everybody to want to be a star from their bedroom, as Francisco has said, because it's a market for it. Even the major networks, a lot of the anchors were working from home. So.
And that you just brought up something that made me realize that I can add a little more of an answer to Fiona's question. I have no desire to be a star. Fame and fortune are great. Fortune, of course, is great, but fame is meaningless to me. I've worked with celebrities. I've known celebrities. I still do. That it doesn't mean fame just means that a lot of people know where you work, right? That's basically it. My motivation for being a broadcaster, while I'm having these conversations with my best friend, I am hoping to enlighten people. I am hoping to give people a different perspective about aspects of their life that they find challenging. And that's my coaching hat. That's my passion in life, is coaching people past difficult points in their life, or just past personality traits that they can't manage, or incidents that were traumatic that they cannot get beyond. That's really what I want to do. If I get compensated for doing that, that's all well and good. That's fair. That's the way life works in America. But I don't care if people ever recognize me, or I get a better, table at a restaurant or anything like that. Like, none of that means anything to me. So as a broadcaster, I just want to connect directly with people and bring them my perspective for what it's worth. Some people are going to think my perspective is dumb. Some people are going to think that my perspective is brilliant, and everything in between. And I'm just looking for the people that resonate with what I'm trying to say and that can benefit from what I have to say.
That's really good. So, being that I have two smart gentlemen on this here with me today, as I could say, there's a lot of personalities nowadays with gentlemen that are like, I guess it would be a brutally honest type of conversation or broadcasting. Do you think that there's a limit of what is truthful to people, especially with you, Chocolate Yoddah, as far as like coaching people? Is there a honest to God truth that is maybe should be censored now that people are have the ability to just broadcast anywhere, or should it just be very transparent?
That's a great question. I am of two minds when it comes to censorship. I don't believe that anything anyone says ought to be censored. I think back to when I was growing up, when I saw KKK members on talk shows. That was very beneficial, because there were people that didn't know that kind of hatred existed. They didn't understand what Black and brown people were going through in America, and really all minorities. Now that we've seen how much violence there is against Asians recently. Okay, so I think it's good to expose those people. I think because when you try to shut that down, it becomes subversive. and it becomes hidden, and that's more dangerous. I think it's better. The only time I think censorship makes sense is really the letter of the First Amendment, which is you have free speech, but you are not free from the consequences of your speech, right? For instance, if you choose, as the famous court case states, to yell fire in a crowded theater, then you have to be held accountable for that decision. So yes, say whatever you want to say, but understand that there could be backlash. And I'm not referring to cancel culture. I don't even believe cancel culture is a thing. I just believe that human beings have always had the capacity and have demonstrated that they are self-regulating. And it's either you're going to be regulated based on your own decisions, or you're going to be regulated by the group. And that group could be your family, it could be your coworkers, it could be your community, it could be the country at large. But either way, humans don't need rules and regulations to tell them how to behave. If that were the case, I mean, just to give you an example, nobody knows exactly how many laws there are in America, but we know in 2010, 41,000 new laws came around. Now, let me ask you something. We know that there's laws against murder, but do people stop murdering? No. We know there's laws against rape. People don't stop raping. Laws are not going to prevent anything. Laws are just a codification of morality and provide a consequence for your behavior. So when you transgress, then there's a consequence. We can say, okay, you have lost your privilege to be in society. We're going to put you in a building that separates you from society so that you cannot harm society anymore, right? So that enables the person to be self-regulating, and if they can't, then society will do the regulating for them.
So now you got to give the guy's name that you had particularly brought that question up about, because I'm going to answer that question, but I want the name to be out there.
There's a gentleman, by the way, his name is Kevin Samuels, that he's been making his way through broadcasting, and he has a very interesting method in how he maybe tackles men and female dynamics.
Sure, and I've seen him. Thanks to Dr. Ron, he turned me on to his show.
Oh, you gonna blame me?
But what's great is that, again, to your question, Fiona, there is no such thing as brutal honesty as far as I'm concerned. I think lying is brutal. I think honesty can be difficult to hear. When I'm coaching people, I can see them physically start to change. And if I'm on the phone with them, I can even hear the changes that they're going through when I'm hitting them with the truth about their life. I get that. I get that it's painful sometimes. I have been through the process of dismantling my old belief systems. I know firsthand how painful it is. Where, because literally everything that you believe is what you know about life. So when part of your life isn't working, it probably means that you have a faulty belief system, at least in one area. And my job is to tear apart what you have believed your whole life and present it to you. And that can be very painful and uncomfortable for people. I don't think that should be censored, because that's beneficial, that painful process. And also understand this, struggle is necessary. The universe demonstrates to us in thousands of ways how struggle is absolutely necessary, right? Planets come into existence from explosions. The universe itself was an enormous explosion, right? Black holes are violent events. Childbirth is an extremely violent event, right? And check this out. Think about a chick in an egg that's trying to get out, right? Sometimes a human being will come along and they'll see a chick struggling to get out of an egg, and because of our compassion, we'll be like, "Oh, let me help this little thing. I'll pull some of the shell off so I can help this chick come into the world." If you do that, that chick dies. It doesn't happen instantly, but it happens. That chick needs that struggle Even things that grow have to break through the soil. And not every plant that starts to grow actually breaks through the soil. If it's not strong enough, it's going to curve back down and die. So we have to accept that struggle is necessary and stop trying to create a world where nobody's feelings ever get hurt. They never experience any loss. They never feel bad about anything. That experiment has been going on since 1970, and it is an abject failure. The nerfing of America has not worked. All we have is highly dysfunctional people that never felt what it was like to lose at anything.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't work. So let's bring struggle back. Let's make it hard for people to achieve things, because that's what creates stronger people. That's what creates stronger species. The fact that we're here today means our ancestors struggled and survived. They figured it out. They solved the problems of finding food, of protecting themselves from the elements, of protecting themselves from animals. And now we're going to be like, oh my God, I can't hear a certain vowel sound. It'll
Right.
trigger me, and I have to curl up in a ball, and that person has to be fired who said it. It's absurd. You know, so brutal honesty, again, I don't believe in it, but honesty, absolutely. Let's be honest. It's not going to help anybody not to be.
So wait a minute.
Go
Let
ahead,
me
sorry.
answer now. So you put in, he took 20 minutes, so I get to at least get two.
You're right.
So, in addition to, because I totally agree with what he's presented up to this point, but in addition to, the reason why people know his name, Kevin Samuels, is because of how he delivers his message. He has taken advantage of an opportunity for everybody to spread the word that this guy is a beast. He's brutal. He's whatever they're feeling about him. He's telling the truth. He's Jesus Christ walking on two legs. Whatever their feeling is about him, people have sought him out and his message to find out what it is that he does for whatever method or reason. So I would say, that he has taken advantage of a network and an opportunity to be made aware of. And the fact that he's doing smackdowns on women, women come to see him so that they can form a lynch mob against him, or some women are coming to get some of that advice to say what they got to do in order to be able to try and get into his world or network for whatever reason. The reasons could be as varied as many people out there that are listening to it. But that being said, we're aware of him. We know who he is. I heard a lady this morning, a Dr. Delvina. She's out of Florida, and she was saying, that he doesn't have a message. Well, that's her opinion. So don't take what he says to heart. And
that's another thing. If everybody agrees with what you're saying, you're probably not saying anything particularly significant.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So it's okay if half the audience hates you. That's fine.
Yeah.
I know people look, my style of coaching is very similar to Kevin's. Okay. I don't coddle my clients. I don't, because what will I do for them? What is the value of pretending that I don't know what I know? What is the value of not being honest with someone that you're trying to help? Kevin is trying to help people, men and women alike. Like even in my personal life, I am the same way. I was in a situation where I was out on a date with a woman, and I just casually I mentioned that, my coffee's taken a while to get here. And she turned around and she grabbed a waiter and said, he hasn't gotten his coffee yet. And I very politely said, please don't ever do that again. Please don't ever speak for me when I am present. I can speak for myself. And if I wanted to get a waiter to ask him about my coffee, I would have done that. And she accepted what I said. And then a few days later, she thanked me for handling her that way. Because she said, the men that I've been with in the past, I have always rode over them. I have always intimidated men, and you're not intimidated by anything as far as I can tell. And I'm glad that you created that boundary for me, because that now I know you better, and I know that I don't have to worry about taking care of you, that you can take care of yourself. And a lot of men fail at that kind of thing, And so when I coach men about relationships, this is one of the things that I teach them.
So was that before or after you handcuffed her to the bed?
I never handcuffed them to the bed. I let them handcuff themselves. I want full consent.
Go ahead, Fiona. Go ahead. I know you had a question. Well, he just sounded like he just smacked her down, like, don't you ever.
Nope, it wasn't even like that.
No, I'm just playing, bro. I'm just playing, man.
It's we could. This is a subject that we could go on for 4 hours.
I know.
In nature, there is a hierarchy that works beautifully, and it has to do with the balance of power between men and women. And like, look at lions on the plains of the Serengeti. There are very defined roles for the two genders, and they work beautifully together. The man protects the pride, and he is responsible for impregnating women and protecting them and surveying his territory, which is roughly 40 square miles. And the women are tasked with raising the children and hunting. But here's the beautiful thing, because women love to point out to me all the time, whenever I talk about lions, women go, oh, well, it's the females that hunt. That's true, but it's the males that eat first.
Yep.
Okay.
That's true.
So there's a balance there that works perfectly, and very often humans ignore what they are and try to be who society says they should be. But I'm living in what I am, and I'm living in what women are, and that's why my relationships work.
All right. Look, we got to change frames here. We're in one scene. We got to go to another. When we first brought Francisco onto the show, we were speaking about our other show, Street News Now, in which he became the 5th member of the cast. Yes, so it's 5 guys on a Thursday night and you. So when you show up, you're the other cast person. But Francisco came on board, and he's a part of what's going on. Him and his Chocolate Yoddah nickname. When he first came on the show, I asked him, I said, man, some woman named you that, didn't she? And he was like, of course she did. And then he politely said, and I'm not going to tell you the story. Right. So, and we have such a wonderful time every Thursday, along with Lee Michaels, who is the legend, that I call him the legend. And then we have the professor, which you spoke about earlier. Then we have my brother, Chris Bass, and myself and you. We just round out the cast of characters, and we just make it do what it do. And we have a wonderful time each and every Thursday. That's every Thursday from 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're broadcasting on Facebook and on YouTube, and we are live. It's not a podcast, but you can go listen to replays. Now, the replays are available all the time, which is a good thing. So we do it live, and then it turns into a podcast. So that's what's up with that. So you want to talk about that show? Hold on. For some reason, I do not have audio, and I do not know why. So now something else is going crazy here. Let's see. Let's take this off. Now say something. There you go. See?
Testing.
There we go. We got you again.
Right.
See, that was one of them sneaky adjustments that made an adjustments on its own. I'm like, wait a minute. I don't see any needles moving. Okay, so go. Now, all right, now.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. As you will say, take 2.
Yeah. Yeah, so Street News Now it's absolutely an honor for me to be part of it, and I really feel that it's a privilege. As I like to point out, whenever anyone asks me about it, the four creators of that show have over 175 years of cumulative experience in broadcasting. And, every time I sit with you guys before and after the show, and even observing you during the show, it's like a master class in broadcasting. It's PhD level stuff. Beyond that, I think it's a vital show. I think it's so important in today's environment of talking heads and sound bites and five people on screen yelling at the same time over nothing. This is deep dives into important topics. It's from the perspective of black men, and not teeny boppers and not influencers and all that other nonsense. It's we are weathered and we are wise, and we bring a specific perspective to these things. And as always, we have a lot of fun. If I can figure out how to because we have so much fun in that thing. So, it's great. I encourage everybody Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern time, and wherever that is in your time zone, check out Street News Now.
Man, we have a wonderful time doing that show, and I know Miss Fiona wants to mess with you about something, don't you?
Oh,
She always
all right.
do.
Dr. Ron, I don't feel good today. And I
Oh, you gonna let
forgot
him
my
have a
memory
pass?
is shot. I'm
All
so
right.
sorry.
That's okay.
What was I going to say?
And that's, by the way, that's why I didn't ask you to take off your glasses today, because I knew you weren't feeling well.
I appreciate it. I
You
do.
gonna go easy on her, huh?
What did
I say he's going easy on you, huh?
Yeah,
he's being a gentleman. He said he's
yeah,
a gentleman,
I don't want
Dr.
to
Ron.
mess with her when she's not feeling well.
Well, she from Connecticut. She can take it, can't she?
Connecticut.
Ah!
Oh, wait a minute. I just feel better all of a sudden. What did you just say?
I mean, listen, Connecticut's a nice little quaint East Coast state.
Quaint.
I'm from New York City, which is the center of the known universe. But hey,
Oh
Connecticut's nice too.
Lord.
I get it. And that's a lot of what New York is. And then people from Connecticut, we ignore all of that because half of them live there.
Yeah,
Sure.
it's like a suburb of New York, ain't it? Yeah,
Yeah,
people
kind
kind
of.
of.
It's a state. It's one of the colonial states. It's quaint. It's nice. I have nothing against.
It's quaint. That's a good word.
Yeah, I mean,
It was even mentioned in a play, Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court. Nice.
Uh oh. Uh oh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
look,
not gonna
shots
say-
fired. Shots fired.
Oh yeah, like 5 of them already. 5 of them. And where did you say you live now? New Jersey.
Uh-huh.
Yes, I reside in New Jersey, which is a hop, skip, and a jump from the city. No matter where I live, you could put me on Mars, I'm still a New Yorker.
Yep, and we're gonna hold that against you.
That's fine.
Yeah, especially because he called it quaint.
Uh oh.
Quaint.
Well, I look at all New Yorkers as some of the rudest folks on the planet. And I had this debate with Fiona a couple of shows back. We had a guest that came on and she spent some time in New York, and I was saying, come on now, if you've ever been to New York, you got to notice that they got an attitude out of this world.
Sure. Well, that's because people confuse intensity and drive with rudeness, and we understand. We understand that it takes a lot to live in the greatest city in the world. It's not for everybody. So it's just like all evolution. The strongest survive, and the strongest happen to be in New York City. But hey,
I see you. Come here.
we welcome you.
All you
We
need,
welcome
all
you
you
anyway.
need is a whole
Come
lot of
visit us
money.
anytime you want.
All you need is a whole lot of money, okay? That's it, that's all. That is the highest place on the planet to live, okay? cost of living over there in New York is outrageous. You can get a broom
Hmm.
closet for like $10,000 a month. You know,
Room closet.
you know.
Yeah, rent is insane in the city, and it is becoming a city of just for the wealthy, and that's not great, but it's still the greatest city in the world.
You get 10 people to live in that broom closet with you. Everybody puts up $1,000, and you got a family all living in one broom closet, ready made. Don't
It's
bring no
so
kids
funny.
in there because that's not allowed. Then you got to take turns going to the bathroom down the hall because it ain't for $10,000. You don't get a toilet in your apartment. You got to go
Ron's
down the hall.
understanding of New York City comes from a 1945 film. That's not how things are really, but all right.
Oh no, man! I've been in New York, and as fast as I came there, as fast as I left. And don't try to drive down the streets. Oh my God, the streets are so narrow. You're gonna tear off at least 10 mirrors, before you get where you're going. And
Yeah.
yes, I have done that. Okay, I'm like, man, is that another one?
The city's not for everybody.
It's not for
When you grow up in the
people.
city and you drive in the city a lot, you learn how to navigate the streets without hitting anybody's mirrors. But again, you were just a visitor. You weren't someone who lived there. You didn't learn to acclimate. You didn't develop the strength and skill and tenacity and intensity that it takes to
I
be in New
totally
York.
agree.
You can be forgiven. It's okay.
I totally agree. But then I got smart. I learned where the A train was.
Yeah, there you go. Up and down to Harlem. I get it.
Gotcha. So I'm like, oh man, is that all I had to do? Park the car and get on the train. You can go anywhere in the 5 boroughs and navigate the city then, without any property damage.
True.
Yeah. But I know you were saying once before that you're actually some island, Dominican Republic or something. I mean, you didn't get a chance to tell that story. You want to tell that
Yes,
story?
I'm an immigrant to America. I'm here legally, thankfully, but I was born in the Dominican Republic in 1964. And in 1966, a military coup took place, / revolution, and part of my family decided to leave, and they brought me with them. And, the rest is history, so to speak.
There you go. Yeah. Go ahead.
What is your favorite Dominican meal, if you mind sharing?
I don't really have one. I do love rice and beans, maybe with plantains, but that's probably it, I guess.
I like Dominican. I like all what you call it, Spanish, Dominican. All of that tastes yummy.
Our food has flavor. That's what it's about.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
So do you speak Spanish?
If I have to.
Okay. All right.
If I have to.
Because I know
I
Dominican.
generally don't have to.
Okay.
But it's there. It's always locked and loaded if I need it.
What about French? Because I know on the other half of the island in Haiti they speak French.
Miss Haiti, I do not speak French. It's similar to Spanish, but there are enough differences where you would lose me in a conversation.
Gotcha. So Thursday nights, each and every Thursday, right here on Facebook and on YouTube, you will find all of us. Our guest today and all the other cast and characters from Street News Now. You can find us and participate. You can even call in, be a part of the show. We have it so that you can participate whether you call in or whether you want to, come in visually. We have that available, and it's a great show. We pick different topics every week. It's not the same. Although it probably sounds like we're repeating ourselves because we're beating up on 45 so much, but it's a lot to beat up on,
Yeah.
He gives us
Hey,
material.
listen, they're still making films about World War II,
Yeah.
so we can talk about 45. The wound is still fresh.
There you go. Yeah. And then they can also find you. I want to make sure they know where to find you. Persistent Rumor on YouTube and on Facebook, right? So you
Yeah,
want to tell them
on
about that?
Facebook, it's just Persistent Rumor. On YouTube, it's The Persistent Rumor. On Patreon, it's The Persistent Rumor as well. And all of the streaming podcast services, we're on that. We're on iTunes. We're on Spotify. We'll be on Google Podcasts soon. Everything that's out there. There's like a dozen of the major syndicators that put out podcasts. We're going to be on pretty much all of them.
Fantastic. And you're officially launched now. You're
We
out
are
the gate.
officially launched. Episode 1 is up. The censored version of episode 1 is going to be available on YouTube this Thursday. I always give Patreon the first crack of new episodes, and Patreon is the only place where the uncensored version is going to live, and there's also going to be bonus content, and there's going to be opportunities to interact with us as hosts.
Fantastic. So you mean you'll be somewhat live?
Potentially.
Okay.
But not necessarily.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Yeah.
And anything else that you would like people to know about you? I mean, I know you live in New Jersey now, so
Mhm.
you're in a safe part of the East Coast, so to speak.
See, that just shows that you don't know that much about New Jersey.
Hey man, I've been to Jersey
Yeah,
too.
there
Okay.
are parts of New Jersey that are extraordinarily violent, but that's neither here nor there. Well, I was raised in Washington Heights, which is one of the, if not the worst ghetto in Manhattan, and especially in the 70s when I was coming up. So every place since then is less than that. So I don't even worry about it. I grew up on the streets. I know what to look for. I know what to look out for. I'm good. People are going to do what they're going to do. And you know what? Helen Keller had a great quote about the idea of safety. It just doesn't really exist. The courageous and the fearful are subject to anything that can happen. So why not be
Wait a minute, was
courageous?
she blind? Yeah.
She was blind.
Okay. All
And she
right.
was extremely courageous too.
Yeah, well, her whole existence was a victory story, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah. So I'm not gonna take any more pot shots at you because I got to work with you on Thursday, and I don't want you holding that over to our next live broadcast. But
Yeah.
man, I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to come back and be with us. It is a pleasure always.
Oh, thanks so much. I love doing it anytime.
Yeah.
And you're going to be my guest soon. I'm going through all the street news now, guys, and I'm going to interview each and every one of you and dig deep, man. Pull out some skeletons that maybe you don't want to reveal. I'm
Well,
good
I
at this.
definitely need therapy, so there ain't no question. You gonna earn your money's worth that day. Y'all gonna analyze me and help me out. There are people have been trying to do that all my life.
It's all right. I'm
So
good.
I got a story to tell when we get over there, boy. I was in a therapist's office, and I was telling him some horror stories about how I grew up. And I told him I was child abused as a child, and he told me, "Who was it? You black, ain't you?" So I'm looking forward to tell you. Let me count the ways, okay?
Nice.
So, but once again, I appreciate it, man. I thank you so much for coming back, and you got to come back and visit with us again. Well, I know we
Sure.
just scratched the surface, and I know we got so many more things to talk about, and we will. So, before we get out of here, I want to invite everybody to go over to my website, ask-dr-ron.com. Please check out everybody that's listed there. If you would like to be on the show, you would like to be an advertiser, either reach out to me or to Miss Fiona and say, hey, I want to do what he did, come on the show and be a part of what you all are doing. And we will gladly have you. We look forward to bringing on people that have something to say. So, and who want to advertise with us. That is a beautiful thing. So we're going to close this thing out because it is an hour now. So we're going to start out with Miss Fiona. Miss Fiona, please give us something that was going to take us out of here, please.
Chocolate Yoda, it was a pleasure having you and meeting you on the show today. Congratulations on your first launch, and may you continue to do everything that you're set out to do. For people who like the show, continue to come on Tuesdays and see us every Tuesday from 5 to 6. Have a blessed week. Take care of yourself, eat right, and see you on Sunday for our Black History Moment.
Yes. All right. So, Mr. Francisco, aka Chocolate Yoda, please tell us something before we get out of here.
Absolutely. Well, for starters, Fiona, I hope you feel better very, very soon. Thank you both for having me on again. And I want everybody to consider the odds against your birth. When you think about all the sperm cells that are competing for the egg, a minimum of 200 million, and the improbability of fertilization and live birth and all that other stuff, it is quite amazing that you're here. In fact, the number against your being here is so large that that is what Google means. Google is so many zeros that you can't count. That's the improbability of your life. So don't take it lightly. You can lose it any moment, as we know. So treat each day as a gift and be the best version of yourself that you can be.
Man, I like that, man. He ends on a sperm count. Peace, y'all. Love y'all. See y'all soon. Please support. Send us your money. We need your support. Please, please, please. This is the information where you can donate. It is a worthy, worthwhile cause. Please support us, and we'll see y'all next time.